What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Lakers legend, might I say, Lakers legend, Derek Fisher gives an analysis on the Clippers. He gives a surprising analysis on the Clippers and the Clippers' chances of winning a championship. And I have to sit here and agree by saying I agree with Derek Fisher because he speaks real truth. One thing he says, you can look at clutchsports.com, but one thing he says that really stuck out to me is that he says, I don't know if the rest of the NBA world or everybody is ready for the Clippers to be the best team or the team in LA to come out the West, but they just might have to be. You see what I'm saying? And that quote that he had, he don't know if everybody's ready for the Clippers to come out the West over the Lakers or put before the Lakers, is a very true statement. I don't think a lot of people are anticipating that. I don't think a lot of naysayers want that, of course, and I don't think that a lot of people really want to believe it. Even though the Clippers are so good the way they are on paper, with all the talent that they have, all the pieces that they have, everything, and having Kawhi Leonard, one of the top players, to me, the top player in the league when healthy, there's still not a lot of non-believers, and that's just the way it is, especially with sports, pretty much with anything in life, honestly. There's always believers and non-believers. So the Clippers are not going to have an easy ride getting to the championship, but I definitely think, in the end, they will be the last team standing. Very, very possibly the last team standing. I definitely believe they could be the last team standing because when you look at this team from top to bottom, the roster speaks for itself. The coach definitely speaks for himself, what he did last year. Kawhi speaks for himself. He's already a two-time champion, two-time MVP. And, the time is now for this team, more so than it ever has been. And see, if that's the case and that's the notion, then to me, this team should be able to, combat everything that comes their way and use it as motivation as they always have and take it the distance and really shut up all their doubters. And, for somebody to come from Lakerland and a legend like Derek Fisher to speak on the Clippers, for him to speak against the Lakers somewhat, it says a lot about how much talent the Clippers have and how great they can be. So hopefully, this is not an injury-riddled season by the Clippers or anything like that, because this is their time to really shine, man. They really have the right roster, the right coach, the right superstar in Kawhi, the right role players, and, a couple seasons ago, I questioned, PG, like whether he could, be a second or a good teammate to Kawhi Leonard. But I really truly believe that he can. I truly believe that, he wants to be a great teammate to Kawhi and vice versa. And I truly believe those two players can, uplift this team to another level. I really believe they can. And I know they believe they can. And, with all that being said, the video I spoke about yesterday with, Ty Lue giving his opinion, on the prediction of, the outcome of the next season, possibly winning a championship and all that, it all speaks to the fact that this team has the opportunity. And when you hear other players, basketball players, Draymond Green saying the biggest threat, to them, the Warriors this upcoming season is going to be the Clippers, it tells you how good the Clippers can be. It tells you what type of talent they have, and it tells you how far they actually can go. And like I said, I agree with Derek Fisher. I don't think the world is ready for what the Clippers have to offer, but I think the world is just going to have to respect it and let it go, because the Clippers are here and what they have is good enough to win. And, if they added another piece to their team, another big man, which I thought that's something they should have done, but, I think it could make it even more, tougher to beat them if they added another big man. But right now, their roster is constructed is good enough to win a championship. If they had another solid big man, that pretty much would make them damn near unbeatable, even though they're almost unbeatable to me now. But the point of the matter is, hearing it from Derek Fisher, and I've spoke on videos about other Laker legends, sort of say. Robert Horry was one, showing nothing but hate towards the Clippers and everything like that, and I get it, because of course he doesn't want to see nobody over the Lakers, but at the same time, at some point you got to really be reasonable and look at things from a reality or realistic type standpoint. And realistically, the Clippers are better than the Lakers. I don't care what Robert Horry says. Listen to Derek Fisher, because he's speaking the truth. Even though he might not even really want to give the Clippers the type of credit that he did, but he did silently, and, he did it because he said it, I think, because it's the truth. He plain out said because it's the truth, and a lot of people want to live a make-believe life saying, oh, the Lakers going to be this, that. Same thing they said last year, and look what it got them. 10, 15 games under 500, and Russell Westbrook was not a fit, and LeBron James really wasn't, he really wasn't, I don't know, he just didn't seem like he was all there with the team. And it's only because they were losing. And I understand when you're losing, you don't feel like you want to be there. You don't have the same type of energy. You don't have the same type of everything. I get that. I truly do. And I respect it as well. But Russell Westbrook is what they have, and he wasn't the only reason why they couldn't win. But at the same time, when you look at the Clippers, they had nothing in regards to superstar, star type players, and they found themselves in a playing tournament with 2 opportunities to go to the playoffs. They couldn't do it, unfortunately, because, to beat better competition, you need your real guys there. And Paul George wasn't good enough in the playing tournament, at least in the first game against the Timberwolves. I did think the Clippers were going to beat the Timberwolves, but Paul George, he came back a little late. He tried to get his rhythm a little bit. It seemed like he was getting his rhythm, but it just wasn't good enough, along with the Clippers' efforts, wasn't good enough to get them over the hump against the Pelicans, and the Pelicans and the Timberwolves, even though Paul George was out with COVID against the Pelicans. But still, they couldn't find a way to get over the hump, but they still made a playing tournament, and nobody expected them to get that far. And like I said, they were just a few games. At one point in the latter part of the season, they were a few games from the 6th seed, taking that from Denver, which they beat Denver early in the season, and they were down by 25 and came back to beat Denver without Kawhi and PG. So this is my point. All signs point upward for the Clippers, because with what they didn't have last year, they still found a way to put a Band-Aid over the season and found a way to make the playoffs when nobody thought that they would. So, you got to give them credit. You got to, look at that from that perspective. And now that they're healthy and, hoping Kawhi comes back how he was, and, PG is healthy, everybody's healthy, it definitely could be a special season for them, as I said in, several videos, prior to this one. So, if I'm a Clippers fan right now, listening to that from Derek Fisher, it makes me feel even better about embracing the hate from other analysts or others out there who are non-believers of the Clippers, because the Clippers, as a team, as a unit, whether somebody wants to deny it or not, they're a championship caliber team. And that's just the way it is. And if you're hearing it from somebody on the opposite end, on the Lakers staff, giving them credit, it tells you how good of a team they can be, or how special of a season they can have, and the outcome of their season. So let's just see what happens, and let's just, we could dwell on what Derek Fisher said, because it was all truth based upon, what he put out there in his comments, and everybody's going to have to live with it and deal with it. And if the Clippers win the championship, not only will everybody have to deal with the Clippers being champions, but so will the Lakers. And that's going to be a huge outlook on a situation. They're going to look at, the situation with if the Clippers win the championship, that's going to be a huge, just shock to a lot of people and to the Lakers nation and everything like that. But hey, it definitely can happen. And of course, we don't want to speak too soon, but it definitely can happen. And if it does happen, I mean, it has to be accepted, and the Clippers definitely deserve more respect if it does happen, because they've been disrespected so much throughout these last several years and years before now, where, it could just be their time to win it all and, erase a lot of the snake-bitten, cursed type images they have and move forward. So let's see what happens, as I said, and let's see how the Clippers do. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.